Have you ever felt invisible in someone's world? Their chaos consuming your every thought, your every heartbeat, until you forgot who you truly were? Imagine standing in the eye of that storm, exhausted, trapped, believing escape is impossible. Now imagine discovering a single choice so powerful it can shatter their control, reclaim your freedom, and ignite your life like never before. That choice is no contact, the move a narcissist cannot handle. Today, I'm going to show you how silence can become your weapon, your shield, and your liberation, and why this one decision can change everything. Every choice we make carries power, but some choices carry a kind of quiet revolution. Choosing no contact with a narcissist is one of those choices. It is the moment when you reclaim the reins of your own life. For years, you may have felt as though your emotions, your time, your very essence belonged to someone else. You were navigating a world dictated by manipulation, guilt, and emotional games. Always reacting, always giving, always apologizing for existing. But in the act of walking away, in the deliberate and courageous decision to stop responding, something extraordinary happens. You reclaim yourself. You decide where your energy goes, who deserves your attention, and what boundaries you will no longer allow to be crossed. This is not passive, it is profound. It is saying without uttering a word that you are worth more than the chaos someone else tried to impose upon you. Imagine a storm raging around a lone traveler, tearing at their coat and scattering their belongings. Yet the traveler keeps walking, steady, untouchable by the tempest. That storm is the narcissist's control, and your choice to walk away, your silence, your boundary, is your steady march through it. Each step you take away from the toxicity is a declaration. You are not a hostage to someone else's manipulation. You are free, and freedom begins with a single, intentional decision. In this choice, you hold the power of your own story, the pen with which you write your life, and the strength to no longer hand it to someone who will never respect it. Choosing no contact is more than cutting ties. It is the first act of love you owe yourself. A bold, unshakable, transformative choice. Narcissists feed on attention. Every reaction you give them, every word you speak in anger, fear, or frustration becomes fuel for their control. They thrive in the space between your doubt and your need for approval, always measuring how much they can bend you to their will. But when you choose no contact, you strip them of the very thing that keeps their power alive. Suddenly, their carefully constructed world begins to crumble, not because you sought revenge or tried to prove a point, but simply because you stopped playing the game. Imagine a fire roaring in a hearth, bright and consuming, but slowly starving it of wood. Without fuel, the flames sputter, weaken, and eventually die. That fire is the narcissist's influence. And no contact is the refusal to throw another log onto it. In their minds, they may try to strategize, manipulate, or provoke, but their power relies entirely on your participation. Silence, calm, and consistent boundaries are invisible weapons they cannot anticipate, they cannot counter, and they cannot endure. It is in this silence that you gain an unshakable sense of control, not over them, but over yourself. You realize that the emotional chaos they once wielded is no longer yours to carry. You are untouchable, not because they have changed, but because you have changed. In that transformation lies a kind of quiet triumph, one that no argument or confrontation could ever produce. You discover that the greatest strength is not in fighting back, but in refusing to fight at all. By denying them the fuel they crave, you illuminate a truth they cannot face. Your life, your peace, and your happiness belong entirely to you, and no one can take that without your consent. No contact is not merely a tactic, it is a revolution of the heart, a radical act of self-love in the face of manipulation. When you break away from someone who has controlled, belittled, or gaslit you, it feels as if you are stepping into uncharted territory. At first, the silence may feel heavy, the absence of connection almost unbearable, because your life has been intertwined with chaos for so long. But within that quiet lies the extraordinary power of healing. Every day you maintain boundaries. Every message you choose not to respond to, every thought you redirect from them to yourself, you are nurturing your soul, rebuilding your confidence, and reclaiming your sense of worth. It is as if you are planting a garden in barren soil. At first, it is hard to imagine life flourishing where so much damage has been done, but with patience and care, Sprouts of hope emerge. You start to see the beauty in your own resilience, the strength in your own laughter, and the clarity in your own voice. Healing through no contact is a slow, steady revolution. It may not announce itself with fireworks, but its impact is profound. The act of stepping away from manipulation teaches you that love, when given freely, must start with yourself. And as you tend to your own garden, you begin to thrive in ways that no outside influence can control. The revolution is quiet, yet unstoppable. The freedom you carve out of silence, the peace you cultivate from distance, and the confidence you regain with each passing day are proof that healing is not passive. It is power in its purest form. Choosing no contact is not just a decision. It is a declaration that you will no longer surrender your spirit to anyone who does not honor it. Walking away from a narcissist is not only an act of protection, it is the beginning of rediscovering who you truly are. For so long, your identity may have been shaped by someone else's whims, their judgments, and their constant need for control. You may have doubted your own feelings, minimized your own needs, or silenced your own voice just to keep the peace. But the moment you choose no contact, you open a door to self-reclamation. Suddenly, the world that once felt oppressive and small begins to expand. You remember the things that brought you joy before you were manipulated, the hobbies, the passions, the laughter that bubbled up freely without hesitation. It's as if you are meeting yourself for the first time in years, and the encounter is both shocking and liberating. Every small act of self-care becomes a statement, I am worthy. Every boundary you maintain reinforces the truth, I am enough. The process is not instantaneous, and some days may feel like you are walking through fog, unsure of which parts of yourself were lost and which are still intact. But gradually, clarity emerges. You start to recognize patterns of thought and behavior that were shaped by control, and you replace them with ones that honor your autonomy. Rediscovering your self-worth is like stepping into a mirror after a long journey and realizing the reflection staring back is someone you love, someone resilient, someone whole. Each moment spent focusing on yourself is a brick in the foundation of a life built on authenticity rather than approval. The freedom to laugh, to cry, to speak, and to exist on your own terms becomes intoxicating, and you realize that the love and validation you sought from them has always lived within you. No contact is not just a strategy, it is the rediscovery of your own soul. Choosing no contact does more than protect you. It breaks a cycle that may have trapped you for years. Narcissistic relationships often follow a pattern: manipulation, control, emotional highs and lows, and then subtle erosion of your sense of self. For some, this cycle repeats across friendships, family, or even generations, leaving wounds that feel inevitable. But when you refuse to engage, when you close the door and refuse to feed the patterns, you create a rupture in that cycle. It is as if you are stopping a river that has flooded the same fields for decades. Its current can no longer dictate the shape of your life. The first days and weeks can be painful. The absence may feel like a vacuum, as though the world has lost its balance. But it is precisely in that emptiness that freedom begins to take root. You are no longer reacting to someone else's script. You are no longer participating in emotional games that were never yours to play. Each boundary you uphold is a brick in a wall of self-respect. Each silent refusal to respond a declaration that your life is yours to live on your own terms. Breaking the cycle is not just about stopping the abuse. It is about proving to yourself, most of all, that you can exist beyond it, stronger and more aware than ever before. It is a statement to future generations, to friends, to yourself. I will not inherit or perpetuate pain disguised as love. Walking away is not weakness, it is courage, foresight, and love, all rolled into one. And in this act, you discover something profound. The past does not define you, patterns do not imprison you, and freedom is waiting just beyond the walls you have built for yourself. Silence is often mistaken for weakness, but in the context of no contact, it is one of the most powerful weapons you can wield. Every unanswered call, every ignored text, every decision to step back is a demonstration of strength, clarity, and self-respect. Narcissists thrive on chaos, on the emotional reactions they provoke, on the disruption they create in your life. When you respond, even in anger or frustration, you hand them exactly what they need to continue controlling you. But when you refuse to engage, When you maintain calm and consistency in your distance, you reveal a truth they cannot tolerate. Your life, your emotions, your peace are no longer theirs to command. Silence becomes a shield, a declaration that you will no longer participate in manipulation or abuse. It is a quiet, steady pulse of power that grows stronger each day. Imagine standing in the eye of a storm, the wind howling, the rain lashing, but around you is a calm so profound it cannot be shaken. That calm is no contact. That silence is your sovereignty. In moments of temptation to respond, remember that every pause, every breath, every refusal to engage strengthens your sense of self. You are no longer reacting to someone else's drama. You are acting in alignment with your own values and your own peace. This act of quiet courage is transformative. It reshapes your internal world, reinforces your boundaries, and empowers you to live without fear or guilt. The narcissist may try to provoke, to confuse, to guilt you into breaking that silence, but their attempts only highlight your power. In refusing to react and embracing your silence, you declare unshakably that your life belongs to you, and nothing, no one, can take that away. Choosing no contact is not just about walking away from someone who has caused pain. It is about stepping into a life that is truly your own. After the chaos, the manipulation, the constant need to appease or react, there comes a moment when you realize that freedom is possible. This freedom is not an abstract concept. It is tangible, alive, and waiting for you the moment you set your boundaries and refuse to compromise your peace. Imagine emerging from a dark forest, the trees heavy with shadows, the path unclear and suffocating, and suddenly finding yourself in open sunlight, the air warm, the sky vast and unending. That light is the life that awaits beyond no contact. A life where you make the rules, where your choices are yours alone, where your heart is no longer tethered to someone who cannot love it fully. Each step you take away from the toxicity, each day you maintain your boundaries, becomes a step toward reclaiming joy, clarity, and authenticity. You begin to see possibilities that were invisible before, to feel emotions that were long suppressed, and to connect with people and experiences that nurture rather than drain you. Freedom is not simply the absence of pain. It is the presence of self-respect, self-love, and a clear vision of your own path. In this space, you can dream without fear, love without compromise, and live with courage and conviction. The narcissists cannot follow you here. They cannot enter the life you have built from the ground up. Nobelium contact is the bridge from survival to thriving, from fear to empowerment, from chaos to clarity. In choosing it, you are not only protecting yourself, you are embracing a future that belongs entirely to you, radiant, untouchable, and full of promise. Remember, no contact is more than a decision. It is a declaration. It is the choice to honor yourself, to protect your peace, and to step into a life that is truly yours. Each day you hold your silence, each boundary you maintain, is a victory over manipulation and control. You are not weak for walking away. You are powerful for reclaiming your life. The storm may rage, but you are steady. The fire may crave fuel, but you are unshakable. This is your moment, your freedom, your revolution. Embrace it fully.